Alright, what we're focused on today is coloring the groups on the periodic table and learning the groups on the periodic table. So I would suggest getting, there's 7 different groups on the periodic table. So getting 7 different colors of markers. They don't necessarily have to match what I have here, but I would get 7 different colors, and that way you can color code your periodic table. So you have I would start with the left hand side, or at least that's where I'm going to start. Starting over here, and I've already color coded, and this is basically what you're going to do, but just to kind of walk it through with you. You've got over here on the far left hand side, you've got from lithium down to francium. Those are your alkali metals. So lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium, those are your alkali metals. They're good for making batteries, those kinds of things. So if you want to color those, and again, these are things that I might ask you, what group is potassium in, what group is rubidium in, and you'll need to know those things. Notice that hydrogen is not included in that group. It is not obviously a metal. Well, you guys don't know that yet. I guess we haven't went through that. It's not a metal, so it can't be part of the alkali metals. And you do need to make sure when you write down the name that you write down the full name, not just alkali. It is the alkali metals. The next group over, the green here, okay. And of course, I might be going through this kind of fast with coloring on the video, so you can always stop, pause, whatever it is you need to do. The next group over is the alkaline earth metals. That's beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, and radium. These guys, they go in compounds a lot and do various things. You can use them for antacid tablets. We use them for fireworks a lot, those kinds of things. You have this big group in the middle here that goes from scandium over to zinc down to mercury, kind of down and around, made it blue. Notice this big group in the middle. This is your transition metals. The transition metals are a lot of the metals that exist purely in elemental form. A lot of times you've got your iron, your copper, your cobalt, and a lot of times you'll hear me refer to these also as the group B elements, but we call those the transition metals. Okay. Then moving on over here, these kind of over here that are still white, they don't really get a group name. A lot of times you just refer to them as the boron group, carbon group, nitrogen group, oxygen group. Because they do a lot of different things. They don't. You get into, and you'll notice when we start talking about metals, nonmetals, and metalloids, there's a lot of different groups in there, so that's why they don't really get a name. So we keep moving over here to the right. You've got the halogens. Obviously, they make halogen light bulbs out of some of these. You've got your fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and acetine. Those are those groups, metals there. Okay. All right. Then you've got the far group over here, your group AA elements. These are your noble gases. So helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. So those are your most stable elements, the ones that don't really bond a whole lot and kind of stick to themselves. Okay. Now those are your main part of the periodic table. Now these bottom 2 rows, they actually kind of hook in right here into your transition metals. They are mostly man-made. They pretty much, and that's kind of why they keep them to themselves. They're mostly radioactive elements, and that's why they're kind of by themselves. They also, so the top row is called the lanthanides. Okay. And then you've got the bottom row. It might just be a matter of stopping while you're, doing this, but it's going to be really important that you learn these groups and be able to identify, if I give you an element, where it belongs, especially without looking at without having a colored periodic table, just by looking at a blank periodic table.